Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to grecochess, a YouTube channel of chess. In this video, we continue facing the chess.com bots, and we have already reached the bots with rating of 1700. But let's share the screen and see what exactly is happening. If you see here, we first faced the beginner bots about a year ago. 15 of them, no problem. Intermediates, 15 of them, a few problems here and there, but we survived. And survived meaning we were able finally to defeat every one of them twice, once with white and once with black. Although we had a few draws and losses in the meantime. Advanced, there are 20 of them. We are now at the 8th of them, which is Jonas from Germany. We're having some difficulty. We don't win all the games, but at least we're able to defeat every one of the first 7 twice, once with white and once with black. And now it is the 8th Jonas. We defeated Jonas with white, but on the second attempt. And now we are facing Jonas, but I'm having the black pieces and Jonas has the white. Let's see what we're going to do now. And Jonas says, as like before, Guten Tag, which in German means good day. Let's see how good is going to be your tag, Mr. Jonas. If I win, I'll feel happy and sad at the same time. Well, if you win, I'm going to feel sad. And if I win, I'm going to feel happy. Let's see if we can do it. Let's start. And I'm hitting the play button. And Jonas starts with the b pawn to b3. It's the same quote from Michael Tal. I said before, you must take your opponent to a deep dark forest where 2 plus 2 equals 5, and the path leading out is only wide enough for one. Michael Tal was the world champion. He was called the magician from Riga. That's had some spectacular sacrifices and was one of the many world champions after World War II. I think it was in the 50s. But let's see how can we react. He was to surprise us. You may remember when I was describing games, I said that usually white starts with either pawn to e4, or to d4, or pawn to c4, or maybe knight f3, or pawn to g3. These are the, let's say, the best openings. But if you want to surprise your opponent, you start with pawn to b3, which is perhaps not so good, but can definitely surprise the opponent. And how will I reply? Let's start with pawn to e5. Let's occupy the center. Pawn to b2, surprise, surprise, of course. He's attacking a pawn on e5 and I'm protecting it with my knight on c6. Pawn to e3 and I'm going to develop my other pawn to d5. Knight to e2. Let me send my knight to f6. We develop both of us. Pawn to d4. The problem is if I do nothing, pawn takes e5, and my knight cannot take it back because it's lost by the bishop. So let's send my bishop to d6. Queen to d2, and in case anyone is wondering why don't I just send my bishop to b4 to pin the queen, unfortunately, Jonas can send either his pawn to c3 or his knight to c3, and I'm not winning the queen. I wish it was so easy. But what can I do? Let's castle, short castling for me. Okay. Let me take with my knight. What can I do here? What would happen if I send my knight to g4? Yes, it's going to the e3. It's protected by the queen. By the time I move a second piece there, unfortunately, a pawn would go to h3 and my knight will have no future and nowhere to go, not just no future there. So let's send my knight back to c6. But what I need to say is that Jonas is exposing his king. He's not castling, and it's not the best way to play. But let's see if I can take advantage. Let me send my rook to e8. So now I'm pinning the pawn at e3, but I cannot take it yet at least. What would happen if I send my bishop to g4 and we exchange? Because then I threaten the pawn at t3 and not easy to be defended, and it's pinned. If he does nothing, I'm exchanging on e2. Here we are. It looked very bad because I'm taking back and he'll take my bishop, but then I win the rook on a1. No, Jonas will not do that, will not fall for that. I'm going to take the bishop on e2. Let's see how Jonas will take back. Most likely with his knight. With the king. No, not a good idea. Because now Jonas cannot castle. Can I win the pawn on f4? I think so, because the pawn on e3 is pinned. Of course, knight can go to h5 and attack both of them. I'm going to send then my queen to e5. I think I can win the pawn. Let's see. Ooh, if rook goes to f1, what am I doing? I can do. So what if my knight checks from c4? Queen cannot take back because I'm taking the queen, and due to the pin, nothing can be done. But do I win anything like that? What if I pin? The problem is if I take the pawn, one of the two rooks can go to f1. What do I do after that? Maybe rook can check. If queen takes back, I win the queen, but I lose my own queen. I think the best thing is pin the knight on c3. Here is the problem. The problem is that my queen is also under attack. Anything I can do. My queen goes nowhere where it goes. Let's open. I'm not winning any material. And is there any way I can check the my queen can check the king? If my knight goes to d4 and checks, queen cannot take it because I'm winning the queen. And then no matter where the king goes, what if I take the rook? He takes back the rook, I win the queen. I think I win an exchange. Let's see if I can win the rook. I think I'm up an exchange, minus a pawn. Yes, I won a little bit, not so much as I was hoping, but now we're going to pin the knight. And let's see if we can win it. Wow, what did my pieces ever do to you? They were on my way to winning. Now, if I put my knight here, yes, I'm attacking your knight. You cannot take my knight because of the pin. Ah, now I'm winning the knight. Let's see what you can do with your knight. It's pinned. It seems that things are going well until now. Let's see if they continue going well. Don't take anything for granted. Let's attack these two pawns now, f4 and h4. Can you save both? I doubt. Can you save only one of them? Got it. Let's go back, make sure we don't lose the knight. Let's protect the pawn here, although it's not in any danger, but better safe than sorry. Knight goes back. And we're ahead in material. Let's see if we can keep it until the end. I want now to see if I can occupy the open e file with my two rooks. One is already there. Check. Will you have to change my knight? No, you prefer to lose your knight. Okay, lose it. And now I'm ahead in material. A rook minus a pawn will exchange rooks, and I think I'm winning. Where will you put the king? Yes, here the good thing for you is for the time being. Oh, connected pass pawns. Be careful, Harry. I need to get rid of these connected pass pawns no matter what. King has to go back. Yes, they are dangerous, the connected pass pawns. See if we can win one of the FG pawns. Because then we can promote on... I know what's the danger. I'm going to win one pawn and make sure the king goes back. Let's win this pawn. No. Let's win the pawn and see what happens. It's not so easy as it looks like. Because you have connected pass pawns. Nope. I win one of the pawns, good. He can take all my pawns he likes. Yes, the dangerous pawns, good. They were very dangerous and they could have promoted, but now, fortunately, that's not the case any longer. Now, Jonas has only 2 pawns away from each other, the A and the F. They have the same ones, so they are blocked. Of course, it's getting worried. Mr. Jonas, I'm going to win the A3 pawn, and we are going to victory with the first attempt. Yes, clearly now the game is mine, unless I stalemate by mistake. Ready to promote. Ready to win the other pawn. And now what's called the ladder mate. Good job, what would you like? I want to defeat you, Mr. Jonas. Beware no stalemate. We are going to check until the end. One more move. Unfortunately, this was easier than expected. It's the first time that I defeated 1700 bot on the first attempt, and with the black pieces. Jonas saying, good game, I didn't realize you're so strong, want to play again? Well, I played with you 3 times already. And you even had 1 win with the white. When I had the white, you had the black. But totally, I have 2 wins and 1 loss with you. And Jonas is over. But let's go to the review. Since we won so fast, we have enough time to look at the review. What does chess.com, the computer, think about the game? 76.5% for Jonas, 81.9 for me. And we played as if Jonas had a rating of 1250, I had 1950. I had 2 great moves, books, 3 of us each. Best, 25 each of us. Excellent, 17 for Jonas, 16 for me. Good, 6 for Jonas, 8 for me. Inaccuracies, 4 for Jonas, 2 for me. Mistakes, 5 for Jonas. Wow. Misses, 4 for me, 1 for Jonas. And I had the blunder. And let's see what did we do wrong. What can we learn out of that? But it's so much pleasant when you analyze your winning games. Even if you find your mistakes, it feels nice. Analyzing your losing games, not so pleasant. Let's start the review. three book moves each of us. Yes, until now it's book. Knight to e2, not so good. Mistakes is the computer thought so because you're blocking your bishop. Good move for me. d4, excellent. That is just good. Continue, finish the first five moves and I had 0.62. Let's see what happens next. Queen to d2, another mistake. I should have placed my knight on e4, says the computer, to threaten the queen. Of course, I'm not winning the queen, but I'm gaining a tempo. That's what the computer says. Miss. Again, I should put my knight on e4 here, but queen goes away, and the knight can be kicked out. f4, mistake. Knight to c6, miss. What should I have done? That's what I was thinking. Knight to h3, excuse me, to g4, but I was afraid pawn goes to h3, and then what? My knight can safely go only to h6. And I don't like this at all, because if a pawn lands on g5, we're talking about a fork. I really thought of it and I was discussing it before, but I thought it was better not to do it. Computer thinks that was the best. Knight to g3, another mistake. Rook to e8, the best. Bishop to e2, yes, best. My knight goes to g4, it's an excellent move. And I should have thought it happened to be excellent because there was a possibility of attacking the rook on a1. Otherwise, I would be down a piece. Look, under normal circumstances, bishop takes knight, and if I take bishop, I lose my queen. If I don't take bishop and I take back, in most cases, bishop takes bishop, so I'm down a bit, but I happen to be lucky, and I'm saying really lucky because I cannot see it in advance. I only saw it at that moment, well, I can let Jonas take my bishop because I'm winning a rook. We finished 10 moves, by the way. I'm ahead by 2.69. Let's see what happened. Inaccuracy, yep. Inaccuracy, they should have taken, but if they took my bishop, they would lose the rook. I understand, Jonas. I would have played the same thing, something like that, protect my rook first. Inaccuracy for me, but look what happens. The king is cannot castle any longer, and the queens are in the board, by the way. So nothing to worry about. And now I send my bishop to b4. Computer thinks it's a blunder. In fact, if anything, Jonas is ahead now. Well, it's a blunder because I should have thought of it. I should have calculated what happens now. Knight goes to d5, yes. And the situation is that both of us are threatening each other's queens. Jonas already got a pawn until now. So if I just take the queen and I lose my queen, Jonas still has an extra pawn. But fortunately, I found the idea of queen taking to a1, which is inaccurate to the computer. I got lucky, meaning Jonas took on a1. That's a mistake. Instead, he should have pushed the pawn to f3. If that's what he did, then my bishop is on attack. I cannot win the queen. Here, really, I got lucky. And from Jonas being ahead by 0.99, well, that's not winning, but still Jonas ahead. With just one inaccuracy of Jonas, I ended up being ahead by 339. Now, yeah, from now on, it is a case of me being able to win the knight because of the pins. Let's see what happened later on when there were the connected pass pawns near promotion for Jonas. Okay, after 20 moves, I'm ahead by 4.18. Now things are reasonable. I win this pawn, of course. I'm bringing my knight to safety. This might be redundant, but better safe than sorry. I don't want my h7 pawn to be attacked anytime in the future. And Jonas entering my defenses through there. Let's try to do it now. I have nothing else urgent to do. I want to double my rooks after 25 moves. I'm ahead by 3.96. Yes, I exchange as much material as possible. Since I'm ahead, why not? Yes, after 30 moves, I'm ahead by 3.73. And look at what's happening. I have rook and 5 pawns, and Jonas has um, just 6 pawns. But look at the pawn on d5. I better be careful. Jonas sends his king near the pawn, makes it even more dangerous because the king with these two passed pawns, in fact, one is connected, the other is next to that, can be really dangerous. Even though the computer thinks I'm still ahead, but it's only if I play the perfect way. King goes near. Oh, computer wants me to take the a2 pawn. I don't want to do too much pawn hunting. Yes. Shh. No. Apologize before I had an interruption. So let's continue with reviewing the games. My king goes near, very near, trying to block the pawn's promotion, but Jonas starts pushing the other pawns. Yes, check here, make sure the king goes back. Computer wants the a pawn to continue because yes, if Jonas takes my pawn, then I win not the a, the h pawn, then I win the f pawn. Yes, a good idea that I got the pawn on g4. Great, of course, as if I had any other choice. And here I was a little scared, but I'm still ahead 396. Can Jonas promote? If king goes to e6 and pawns are post, I'm not sure how I can stop them. I would have to check, but let's see. Yes, king goes to e6, inaccuracy is the computer. The king should go from the other side. Not so easy to go from the other side because my pawn is on a7. Yes, I have to check. I don't see what else I can do, but the computer has better ideas. Now I want to win the pawns. I must win these 2 pawns before they promote. Yes, I play the best moves, and from now on it's easy. The only chance for Jonas is if he was able to promote at least one of the 2 pawns, or at least win my rook to avoid the promotion, which did not happen. But I had to really think very seriously. And we reached the M's now. Where did we hit the M's? Let's see. Yes, after the 45th move of Jonas, it's M8. I'm mating in 8 moves. And now I'm mating in 7 moves. We completed 45 moves, and I need 7 moves for the mate. And I needed 16. So I didn't play perfectly, but at least from here, win is guaranteed. M6, M4, 4 moves. 6 now. 3 in 3 moves. I'm mating if I play correctly, which I did not. 2 moves. I have mating 2 moves. And the 2 moves, I believe, would be if I send my rook to d4, yes, then Jonas has only 1 move to send his king to h6 and it's mate. But instead of winning in 2 moves, he took me 11 moves. I should have gone to d6, but I was too hungry for this wonderful pawn on a3. So from m2, I'm down to m8, 8 moves, m8, 7 now, 9, 8, 5, 6, 4, 3, 2, again 2, 1, and we got it. So we eliminated Jonas, both white and black. From now on, the games are not going to be so easy. because the bots are stronger and stronger. What next? The plan until now is between bots after eliminate bots, defeat them with white and with black to have one puzzle rush, and we'll continue again. Our record in the puzzle rush is 50. See if we can break it. And after that, who is next? Next is Iceland from Australia. No, from New Zealand. The flags are too similar. Also 1700. So then hopefully we'll have Iceland to face with the white and with the black pieces, see what we can do. And then it's time for the 1800 boards. Lorenzo from Italy, Wally from Scotland, and Julia from the Netherlands, I think. Let's see who else is next. And then it's 1900. Miguel from Brazil, Xavier from Spain, and Olga from the Ukraine. The 2000s, Lee from Taiwan, Charles from England, or from Georgia. I think it's okay. We'll see by that time. And Fatima from Lebanon. And the 2100, Manuel from Portugal, and Oscar from Sweden. If I'm correct, I may be wrong in a few countries. So that's it for now. Goodbye, Jonas. 8 out of the 20 advanced bots were eliminated, and let's see what's happening in the tournament. Yes. And directory. Let's see what's happening with grecochess 60 for the second tournament I'm organizing. Until now, we have 8 registrations, starting from Gillan from Israel, the strongest 1480, all the way until one from Vietnam. That is my own tournament. In a championship, we're near the end of the first round. How many games remain? 14. As you may know, I have already advanced the second round with a little bit of luck or a lot of luck. Games remaining are between 49 moves and 95. And finally, and you may remember in the previous video, I described one of the games, the game that sent me to the next round. And I'm submitting it to the video contest. Let's see if we'll have any luck there. And let's see what happens with the Underwater Moonlights, which my subscriber Zanilo from Italy is organizing. We reached the semifinals, the third round. And we know who has advanced. You see here that 2 games remaining, but no matter what happens, Mebius from Nigeria, Steam Rocket from, is it Australia or New Zealand? Australia this time. And Chinan Fu from Greenland have advanced from Group 1 and from Group 2 again. No matter what happens in the remaining 2 games, players that have advanced is PGO74 from Italy, Maxim Govoruka from the Ukraine, and AMMT from Indonesia. These are the 6 finalists. Whenever the 5 remaining semi-final games are completed, we'll have the 6 finalists, and we'll have lots of fun to see what happened there. But that's it for now, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching. Thanks to all the viewers, subscribers, the comments, and the likes. If you have not yet subscribed, please consider doing so. All you need to do is click the appropriate button and you'll be notified of our videos. We plan to have about 1 video per day, assuming nothing comes in our way. We plan to continue, what else? With the bots, of course. And what else? Fridays, usually Fridays, we have the tournaments in Queen's Club. This Friday is round number 4 of the Winter Swiss. I have already started with 2 wins and 1 loss. March 15th is the Chessanity tournament in Long Island. 3 rounds on 1 day. I'm going to show them later on after they're completed. Other tournaments I'm planning April second through fifth is going to be the tournament in the Atlantic City. I'm participating. We'll have news at that time. But for now, that's it. Goodbye, Jonas. Ladies and gentlemen, goodbye.